welcome back to the Rabbit Homestead. My name's Ashley. Well, we recently started having a bear problem, and I wanted to go ahead and show you what type of things we do to kind of protect our animals on our homestead. We raise rabbits and chickens, and now we raise quail. So there's a few things that we do to protect our animals, but not only just from bears, but also from raccoons and foxes and really any wildlife that we have here. Now, since we've been homesteading, we've had lots of raccoon problems mostly. We've had fox, we've had bobcats. That we have one legendary bobcat that likes to come around, and now we have a bear. We've seen bear throughout the years that we've been here, but we've never actually had them keep coming back and visiting us. So we have a bear this year that has been coming back pretty routinely. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. We've been ready for this. We've been prepared for it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we do to keep our animals safe and kind of the measures we take to avoid any issues. Oh, I wouldn't say this is completely a bear-proof rabbit hutch. Bears are very big animals, and they can do some damage. But a couple things that we do. The first thing we do is we keep our rabbit hutches right outside the door of our house. Now, yes, I know that probably, that doesn't mean bears aren't going to come and sniff out our rabbit hutches, but we're less likely to have issues. Whereas if they were way out away from the house, like my garden is, or way out in the field where my chicken tractor is, they have a better chance of being protected, being right by our house. We actually have had cameras on our rabbit hutches, and we've never once had any raccoon activity at our hutches. We've always been worried about it. So I do things like leave their nesting boxes in there a little longer, or I give them really big pieces of wood. That way the litters can huddle up on it at night and sleep together once I do take the nesting box away. And I haven't had any issues. So that's been fine. But that's the first thing I do, is I keep them right next to the house. They're right outside the back of our house. And then we have another hutch that's right by our side porch. So number two, these hutches obviously have 4 legs. Well, when we first built them, we realized how easy they would be to tip over. And something like a bear could come over here and they could just push it over so easily. So what we did is we put down these boards. We nailed these boards to the bottom of the 4 legs to help make it difficult for it to tip over. I'm pushing on it right now, and it's not moving a whole lot. So that's the second thing that we do.
Guys, so I wanted to show you this rabbit hutch that we bought when we were rebuilding our rabbit hutch. So if you followed me in some of our rabbit videos, when we first initially built our very first rabbit hutch, we weren't happy with it a couple months into it, so we rebuilt it in a better way. So we had to find something to put those rabbits in temporarily to house them until we could get that rabbit hutch rebuilt the way we wanted it. So we picked this up on Craigslist. Now, it was like $40 on Craigslist, and you can find these all day long on Amazon. You can buy them at Tractor Supply. Now, these are rated to be outdoor rabbit hutches. Look at the top. They say that this can go outside, but this does not work for us. If you are going to be raising meat rabbits and you have any type of, really anywhere, I would not recommend this for anybody to buy this and raise their meat rabbits in this type of hutch. Now, sure, yeah, it looks cute. Oh, it's very adorable. But that's, you know, maybe that's the selling point, but it's definitely not worth your money. The people that sold this to us told me that they paid $200 for this rabbit hutch. And they sold it to us for $40. Now, the inside, it had a divider. This is the divider, this cheap little tiny piece of wood. And it doesn't stay. So this is just cheap. Don't spend $200 on something like this. If we were to leave this outside with rabbits in it in the middle of winter and it were to snow, it would be completely covered with snow. They'd be snowed in. And not only that, but a raccoon can so easily, or a bear could probably drag this whole thing off into the woods and sit on it and then eat our rabbits. So, but yeah, don't buy this. It's a piece of junk and it won't keep your rabbits safe, and it falls apart pretty quick. So, all right.
All right, so this is where the bear was, in this field. He keeps coming back here. He just sniffs around the chickens, and then he was digging in front of the tractor a little bit. But like I said, he'll eat small animals, but you know, there's other things that bears prefer to eat. And he's not gonna work super hard to get to these chickens like a raccoon would or a fox would. All right, so these chicken tractors are pretty heavy duty. They're about 4 years old and they're made of pressure treated wood, which is why the wood looks so light and kind of dried out. It's made of pressure treated wood, and it's made mostly out of 2x4s. You want your chicken tractors to be light and easy to move, but with what we deal with here, they're heavy and they can be difficult to move. It's not flat, it kind of goes uphill. So if I were to turn this chicken tractor around and go up that way, it would be difficult to move because it's going up a small hill, whereas when I'm pulling it down this way, it's a lot easier because it's going downhill. But it's very heavy, and nothing can pick this up. No animal, I don't think, can pick this up, including a bear. So it's very heavy. Nothing can pick it up and flip it over. And we also have the metal tin, galvanized tin on here as well. So if anything were to stand or step on this, it's not like it's on wire, you know, it's nice and solid. And it also gives the chickens a place to kind of find refuge if there is anything out here harassing them. All they have to do is really go under here where they feel safe. We also put a corner here with metal on 2 sides of the corner. That way they can sleep there. That way they can have a safe place to sleep and not have to sleep next to wire where there's something staring at them trying to eat them. We kind of provided a safe spot for them to find refuge in when there is something out here. Like I said, the only issue we really have with these is animals like raccoons. They take their small little hands and they like to grab in and reach. They stick their hands in, you know, mice holes and chipmunk holes, and that's how they survive. That's how they hunt. They'll just stick their paw in things and grab out whatever's in there, or dig. And that's what they do at these chicken tractors. They'll dig, but usually they can't dig enough to get in. We've never once had a raccoon get into our chicken tractor. It's just them grabbing at our chickens is the issue, and that's really only an issue when the chickens are very small. When they're this size, it's not an issue anymore. So here is the lid. Now the lid's kind of heavy. You wouldn't want this to fall on you. I mean, it's not extremely heavy, but you wouldn't want it to fall on you when you're doing what you need to do in here. But so this has wire on it. Obviously you don't want the whole top of it to be the metal, because you want airflow in your chicken tractor. and you want to be able to see down in. Now, another thing I want to mention is chicken wire. I think I've mentioned this before, but chicken wire is only meant to keep your chickens in. It's not meant to keep your chickens safe. It's not meant to keep predators out. So if you ever use chicken wire, it's literally just to keep your chickens in. Keep that in mind. It's not going to keep them safe at all. We learned that lesson when we first built our chicken tractors. You would think chicken wire, when we were first new to homesteading, we thought chicken wire, oh, chicken wire, this is what you use. So we put it on our chicken tractors, and very quickly we learned that that was not a good idea. Raccoons, their hands fit perfectly right into those holes, and they were pulling out. It was terrible. I won't go into detail, but don't use chicken wire unless you're just doing like a temporary thing, or you don't have problems with wildlife on your homestead. So this is the wire we use, and this works out really well. You can kind of see on the wire where raccoons and other wildlife will kind of pull at the wire, and that's when you just want to, we don't use, I would never use staples to staple your wire down like we do on the rabbit hutches. We actually use a more heavy duty staple on the rabbit hutches. We use these washers with the screws. And that we haven't had any issues with that. Obviously nothing's going to pull those out. You know, a lot of homesteads, they have really light chicken tractors. They move them really easy, and that's awesome. But here, you know, a couple years ago we had bear prints on top of our metal. So we knew there was bears sniffing around here at night, but now we got one that's coming routinely during the day. So now, if you've been watching my chicken series, you know that I let these guys free range. Well, I do let them free range. I'm not going to stop free ranging them. Since this bear's come around twice, we haven't lost any chickens, and I'm not going to stop. I want my chickens to free range, and if the bear comes back, he might take a chicken, maybe 2 chickens. I'm not really too worried about it. We bought so many chickens to start with because we knew we were going to lose some. It's kind of just a part of raising chickens, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to let them out right now. And they're going to be out, and they're going to be happy, and they're going to be foraging, and they're going to be eating bugs. And there's a threat of a bear maybe coming and visiting them. I'm okay with that. As long as they're safe at night, and you know, I take care of my chickens. They're well fed. They always have water. I have water in here. I always have a watering thing out in the field for them, and they have a safe place to sleep and a nice heavy duty tractor to keep them safe. So I'm not worried about it. This is our chicken tractor. This is what we do. Yes, I know it's kind of heavy, and but it works, and it keeps our chickens safe. So here we have a huge patch of wild blackberries. Now this is what bears love to eat. They love to eat berries. It's probably their favorite thing to eat, as well as seeds and stuff like that, blossoms, roots, as opposed to small game. Like I said, they will eat small game, but they love stuff like this. Way back in a field, way back there on our neighbor's property, there's tons of wild blueberries, and the bears like to eat those. But these are just starting to come out, so pretty soon he's going to have plenty of berries to snack on throughout the woods. So hopefully that will kind of deter him from going after, you know, my chickens and my rabbits. Because like I said before, they eat seasonally. They'll eat what's available in season. And they'll store up all their fat for winter, and then they hibernate. Now, the birds really peck at these too. You'll see that a lot of people
put bird feeders in their windows in the wintertime. And that is because we can't have bird feeders out in the middle of summer. Usually we'll put bird feeders out November, December time, and then we'll take them in. We'll have them out all winter, and then we'll bring them in probably in April, May type. Usually in April we'll bring them in because the bears, if they find your bird feeder, they're gonna come and they're gonna eat all that seed, and they're gonna keep routinely coming back and looking for that bird seed. So we can't feed the birds during the summertime. And really, it's not a big deal because the birds could use it more in the wintertime than they could now, because there's plenty of food out here in the summer for them to eat as opposed to the wintertime. So it works out fine, but we definitely can't have bird feeders out because that'll just attract the bears even more. These will start becoming little blackberries, and I'll be able to come out here and pick them. Hey guys, so I had to come out here and show you this. I was inside making dinner after work, and lo and behold, the bear came back. So we got a ton of footage of the bear just hanging out with our chickens. And this morning, I was talking about what they like to eat. Well, and how secure, the precautions that we take to keep our chickens and our rabbits safe. Well, this bear just hung out in our field with our chickens for probably an hour and did not touch one of our chickens. And our chickens are free ranging right now. So he basically just laid out in the field, smelled around, and dug at the grass a little bit. And the only thing I can think that he was digging at was he could probably smell the food that I gave the chickens earlier this morning. So I'm gonna go over there and take a look and see if I can, get an idea of what he was digging for. I'm pretty sure it's the food though. But yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, so the bear was just hanging out over here, and he went off into the woods right over there. So he was hanging out right here next to the tractor for the longest time. Sitting right about here, and you can see where he was digging around. Now,
the bear actually came all the way around here, went underneath the chicken tractor, hung out in the chicken tractor for a few minutes, and then left, and then walked back out. It was pretty cool. I can't believe he went inside the chicken tractor. So I'd imagine he's not too far away because I came out here a few minutes after he walked off. But you hear all kinds of stories about bears trying to break into chicken coops and stuff like that. So I was surprised that he did not bother to pursue any of the chickens at all. In fact, the chickens seemed okay hanging out with the bear. Some of them actually got pretty close to him. So they all just kind of hung out together for a good hour, and it was pretty cool. Alex and I just sat on the porch and we were watching him, and he didn't really seem to care. I mean, we opened up the door pretty slowly and it kind of creaked a little, but he didn't even flinch. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoy the footage. It's been a lot of fun filming this bear and learning about him. Like I said this morning, you know, we've done so many things to protect our animals, and it's just weird that he hung out with the chickens for so long. So I guess we don't really need to worry about it. Because I know this morning when I was filming, I was telling you guys that even though the bear comes around, and has been coming around the last few days, I was still gonna free range my birds, even if it meant me losing a couple. Well, they're free ranging, and he came back and just hung out with them. So, you know, if they want to hang out together, then that's fine by me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the footage of the bear as much as we have. Leave some comments down below on what you think about the bear, and if you're surprised that the bear wasn't interested in our chickens. But anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.